Hello people, welcome back to the channel and thanks for watching this video. In this one I want to highlight red flags. This video is by Lise LeBlanc and I had a quick look at the first, maybe a few minutes, and the other ones that she's got highlighted in her bullet points or whatever, or her sections look quite good. So I've had a look over them, and what I will tell you is you will be hard pushed to find any woman who does not have at least a few of these red flags, because fundamentally women are chaos. And they might look cute, they might look peaceful, but sadly most of them are the complete opposite of how they look, and you just have to keep that in mind. So this is why it is important to have standards, boundaries, and a frame that you only accept women in your frame. They don't run the show, you run the show. That's how it is. If you let a woman run the show, she will literally run you into the ground, and like I've said before, you'll just end up in an emotional car crash. So let's watch the video. I'll stop it here and there, but it has got a lot of good points, and if you're not too sure on red flags or how to look out for them, this video will give you a good guideline.
Hey everyone, I'm Lise LeBlanc, therapist, author, and life coach, and today I'm talking about 10 types of women that a good man should avoid if he wants to keep his sanity. Now, this video assumes that you're seeking a healthy relationship, but if not, I'm not here to judge. There are many reasons, conscious and subconscious, that you might be attracted to toxic women, and I will be talking about these reasons in an upcoming video. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to do so and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. You may already know this, but my channel is aimed at helping men who are dealing with toxic relationships, because I find there just aren't enough resources out there for men who are in abusive situations. Now, I know that relationships are a two-way street, and if you're repeatedly finding yourself in toxic relationship after toxic relationship, then there are probably some things that you need to address within yourself. But there are other situations where good men fall prey to manipulative and abusive women and are sometimes emotionally and or financially ruined by them. Okay, so let's get started, and in no specific order, here are the 10 types of women. So the first type of woman you'll want to avoid is the one who is emotionally volatile. So here are a few clues. First, she tells you that she's crazy, hard to handle, difficult, that you'll regret getting involved with her. Second, all of her exes are abusers or stalkers. Maybe she even tells you about some situations that required police intervention. Third, she has a lot of mood swings, rage episodes, and erratic behavior within the first few months of the relationship.
You know what? Forget I offered to help you. Forget the entire fucking idea. Because that must have been fucking crazy. Because I am so much crazier than you.
Keep your voice down.
I'm just the crazy slut with a dead husband. Forget it!
Shut the fuck up. Tiffany, hey, Tiffany.
Now, I'm not saying that you need to...
So I'm sure we've all experienced that at some point with women, and generally it's hard to find a woman who's not mentally unstable. Sadly, at some point they just flip out for no reason most of the time. Sometimes you're just standing there like, what is going on? You as a man try and make sense of it logically, but there is no sense to be made of it. They are just crazy.
Find a woman who is always calm and emotionally stable. That might not be realistic.
Now, below a 5 crazy and above an 8 hot, this is your unicorn zone. These things don't exist. If you find a unicorn, please capture it safely, keep it alive. We'd like to study it and maybe look at how to replicate that, okay?
But you also don't want to be with someone who is always going off on you, being irrational, antagonistic, and just downright difficult. I mean, that might seem like a fun challenge at first, but it gets exhausting really fast and it could cause you a whole lot of problems.
You are an asshole. Get off me. Get off. You're harassing me. He's harassing me.
Hey, stop.
Another type of woman you will want to avoid is the micromanager. This type of woman will tell you who you can talk to, what you can do, where you can go, how you should do the things you've been doing since you've been on this planet. She will order you around like you're a little puppy dog, infringing on your independence at every turn, and before you know it, she'll be telling you that you're eating and breathing wrong. This woman
Yeah, so these are typically women who are, either spoiled as a child and they've got their own way all their life and they're just little, drama queen divas who are just spoiled. Or, you might find that they've adapted into the feminist mindset. But these type of women do not accept men running the show. These type of women will constantly combat you and just at every turn question you, challenge you, and just try and bring you down. So these type of women will just try and literally take away any independence you've got, any freedom you've got, and they will literally try and control you at every aspect. It's horrible. Do not accept that at all.
Woman is a control freak, and if you stay with her, your world will end up getting very, very small, and you will need to shrink yourself to fit into the tiny box that she provides for you. And that box just keeps getting smaller and smaller. You'll feel trapped, suffocated, and you'll lose all self-respect.
Every day, it's like waves hitting the beach, Every day, just eroding a little more your life away, Just waking up inch by inch, every day just... Why are you hanging out with him? He drinks too much. Where'd you buy that? That's ugly. Throw it out.
Number 3 is an entitled woman. This is a woman who has no humility and no appreciation for what you're bringing to the table. She totally takes you for granted, expecting you to do more, and more, while she provides very little in return. At first, sure, she probably loved and sex bombed you, but as soon as you were locked in and committed and fully invested in her and the relationship, her new mantra became, "What have you done for me lately?"
And that's another thing you need to watch out for women. They put on a nice front game where they try and, seduce you and trap you. And then women, you have to understand, they will drag you into the emotional world and they will drown you and control you and toy with you. That's why as a man, you need to stay logical and don't get too emotional. Don't let a woman control you, because all she'll do is just drown you in, her world, which is where nothing's ever good enough. And once she's got you, like for example, once a woman traps a guy, gets married and has kids or whatever, that's when it goes downhill. Or never mind the marriage, that's why we're seeing so many single mums, because these women trap men to get what they want and then their true colours come out. So you need to be aware.
Despite the fact that you're working your tail off, giving her a great lifestyle that she doesn't have to work for, and yet you're getting dissatisfaction, disappointment, and an endless list of demands from her. And you might wait.
And these women will never give you anything. It's always take, and it's never good enough. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. You will never satisfy them, and they will just want more and more and more. Simple as that.
Wake up one day realizing that you've wasted your life on someone who will never love, value, or appreciate you, no matter how hard you work or what you give up for her.
Okay, what are we doing today?
Yeah, I say, give me some that says I get up every morning at 5:30 and commute for an hour and a half to some bullshit job, or my jag-off boss expects me to kiss his balls all day just so I can afford to keep my ungrateful screaming kids decked out and Dora the Explorer shit and my wife up to her fat ass in self-help videos until the day I get up the courage to put a shotgun in my mouth. Right here. Yeah, that's it.
Number 4 is the
That was quite funny. Right, women with multiple exes. That is one. So she'll always be telling you how bad her ex was, or she'll always be just talk about her ex, her ex, her ex, ex. This is and she is just the shining angel that never done anything wrong. Everybody's just always so bad to her. Like she could be talking about one ex or 10 exes, but the common denominator is her. And the more a woman goes on about how bad her ex was, it usually is a sign that she's trying to deflect and trick you into thinking that she is the opposite of what she is.
woman with multiple exes. If your woman is a serial monogamist, she's been with a lot of guys, it's a sign that she's in love with the process of falling in love and obsessed with a fantasy fairy tale type of love that's typical of Disney movies. Her history of promiscuity and failed relationships suggests that she's always searching for the next thrill or a fantasy relationship, which makes it hard for her to be happy in reality. Don't be fooled into thinking that your ending is going to be different. Even though she's telling you how different and special you are, you're not. That's the trap. She starts by idealizing you, treating you like a king, acting like you're her hero, but in reality, she's in love with the idea of you, not the real you, and she will have no patience for any deviation from her fantasy. Then she'll start accusing you, blaming you, devaluing you, telling you you're not the man she thought you were. She does not have the ability to transition from the honeymoon phase, the fantasy illusion, to a real long-term committed relationship. Number 5 is a woman with significant mental health or addiction issues.
Yeah, and that's another common thing in this day and age. In my opinion, so many women are mentally ill, mentally unstable, and just have no sense of direction or what they want. And really, what they want comes down to the fact that they are selfish to the core. And a lot of women cannot even realistically think of anything else other than themselves and what makes them happy. And a lot of women have got, drug issues, debt. It's insane how many women, when you see behind the curtain of their real life, are just a complete mess. Not all, but a lot.
Where she is not in treatment. Maybe it's because she doesn't believe in therapy. Maybe she thinks she's self-aware and has things under control. Or maybe she is blaming her abusive behavior on past trauma and excusing it. And it may be due to past trauma, but if she's not taking responsibility and actively working to address her issues, you need to ask yourself whether you're willing to help someone who is not willing to help themselves. Abuse is abuse, and you don't deserve it. Number 6 is gold diggers and sugar babies.
Yeah, we all know that. Women these days just seem to think that love doesn't involve a bond between two people, a man and a woman, and you getting to know each other, appreciate each other, and it doesn't matter where you are or what you've got around you, that as long as you're together, you can form a relationship and a bond with each other. Today, in the modern times, it's women just want dinners and flashy this and that and money and all this insanity. It's all geared towards money and a flashy lifestyle. That's not love. So if you're speaking to a woman, and I think for me, my biggest red flag is in these situations is when you're not long speaking to a woman and she asks what you do for a living. For me, that's a sign that she's not looking for love, she's looking for business. That's just my opinion, especially if it's really quick.
Unless you're looking for a superficial transactional relationship, steer clear. They want you for your money and the lifestyle that you can provide. And although they might be willing to act like your dream girl until you're emotionally invested, you will eventually be manipulated and exploited. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't have a ton of empathy for men who fall for a materialistic woman because chances are you're exploiting her too for reasons like your own need for validation. Having a beautiful young woman on your arm might give you an ego boost. It might ease your insecurities and elevate your status. But just know that you're setting yourself up for a superficial transactional relationship. And I'm not here to judge you. Do what you want. It's a free country. But at least be honest with yourself about what you're getting into and don't be surprised when the relationship lacks depth and authenticity, when you feel used and exploited. Number 7 is the chronic victim. So this is a woman who is always feeling sorry for herself, always in crisis, constantly surrounded by drama, misfortune, and an endless series of problems.
Does that sound familiar? So these type of women you can never satisfy, and they're always in this victim mode, and the world's so bad to them, and there's always a dilemma, there's always a drama. There's never just happiness, peace and tranquility. It's a never-ending, just never-ending road of misery, chaos, and you're bad to them, everybody else is bad to them. The world's bad, and they're basically just depressing people to be around, and they might actually just be depressed as well. But these people, I think, tend to find that they can get attention through playing the victim, and it's a good tactic to get away with being devious. So if they do something that's wrong, they can just play the victim. I'm just a sweet little woman. How could I do anything bad, you see? And that's a good way for them to sway other people and manipulate, and it's all part of their tactic, and it's not a good woman.
She thrives on attention and sympathy, often manipulating situations to keep herself looking like the victim. Instead of seeking real solutions or taking responsibility, she will rely on you to uphold her victim stance and to rescue her from the problems that she is attracting and orchestrating. But for every problem that you solve, there will be 10 more right behind it. So instead of feeling rewarded and fulfilled by helping her, you will end up drained, feeling inadequate and frustrated, especially when she starts blaming you for not doing enough to help her.
So they type of women, you'll never make them happy, ever. It'll be a never-ending, just you've got to constantly fix problems. There's always a dilemma. Stay clear.
Number 8 is attention seekers.
Yep, that's pretty much every woman. Women thrive on attention, and the more you see a woman wants attention, I would say the more you should avoid her. That's my opinion. Taking pictures, Instagram, this, that, always got to be just the centre of attention. And yeah, you don't really want women like that. You want a woman that likes a kind of quieter life, doesn't need attention all the time, and realistically everything this woman's saying, you want to get a woman that's the opposite. But like I said at the beginning of the video, it's impossible to really find a woman without any of these flaws. It really is. And like the clip at the beginning said, if you find this, it's a unicorn, trap it or capture it. We want to study it, because most women are just filled with flaws, but they make out they're perfect.
Women who need constant attention and validation will never be satisfied with one man. They thrive on this external validation and are always seeking out admiration from other men to meet their emotional needs and maybe even other needs too. Sure, she'll tell you that he's just a friend. She's not attracted to him. If she wanted to be with him, she would be. You're the only one who matters. And yet she refuses to cut emotional ties, or at least to set better boundaries to make you feel more comfortable, secure, and respected. Now, I'm not trying to say that a purely platonic relationship with someone of the opposite sex is impossible, but it is rare. So, a woman who needs to keep multiple guys around as friends, whether that's exes, coworkers, or just random guys, that she's overly friendly and involved with, these guys that she turns to when she's upset or needs something that you can't provide, then it's highly likely that she either needs more validation and attention than you can provide.
And yeah, so basically these type of women will never be satisfied with one man. That's just the reality, because they constantly need outsourced attention, like a constant stream. And what's perfect for that? Social media, Instagram, OnlyFans, whatever. And these women will never be content with a quiet, simple life. They always need to search, out in the world for attention, whatever way it is. And they'll always, realistically, in my opinion, these are women who are narcissistic and extremely hypergamous, and they'll constantly monkey branch. And you'll find them probably all different men. They're pretty, but they'll say, "Oh, I can't find a man," and they'll play the victim. But the bottom line is because they are never content. And what this mainly everything in this video is, all of these women, all of these kind of red flags have in common is that they're never content in a relationship. It's always a problem and always something that they have to bring trouble and chaos into your life. There's never any contentness, any peace. It's just chaos, turmoil, and insanity, you know?
Or she's not fully committed to you and wants to keep some backup options open. It might even be to make you feel insecure so that she can get more control over you. The fact that she's keeping other guys around doesn't necessarily mean that she's being unfaithful. But here's the red flag you need to pay attention to. If you tell her that it makes you feel uncomfortable and you ask her to set boundaries respectfully, and she turns around and accuses you of being insecure, immature, not trusting her, instead of trying to understand your perspective, then walk away. And here's another one. She'd be super jealous and insecure if you were to give that type of attention to another woman. Number 9 is the dependent and insecure woman. So while you don't necessarily want someone who is too independent, you also don't want someone who is completely dependent on you. At first, this might make you feel good to have someone relying on you to meet their every need. It might make you feel indispensable, significant, valuable.
And what happens is you end up becoming their slave. They want you to do everything, even things that they're capable of doing themselves. They will want you to do it. That's just how it happens, and it's about, basically, she says it's about dependency, but really it's about they really want a slave, and that's it.
Valued, maybe even like a hero. But in time, you'll probably find yourself feeling suffocated by her constant need for validation, reassurance, and resources. You might find that the responsibility becomes too much, and instead of feeling loved and valued, you feel burdened and resentful. Number 10 is the woman who is detached and plays the push-pull game. So this is a woman who wants to be with you when it's convenient for her. Maybe she's always busy, making excuses to avoid you. Then, when you start focusing on your own life, she suddenly shows interest and draws you back in. This push-pull dynamic creates a lot of confusion and doubt, and it's often an indication that there is a lack of commitment, a fear of intimacy.
Yeah, they just sort of view you as a toy that they can pick up and put down when they feel like it. There's no real connection or feelings. And I think the fundamental thing with all of these red flags is that it's narcissism. And I think that is on steroids today with women, especially because of social media, etc. It's really opening up the ugly side of femininity or women. It's sort of a diminishing the femininity, and it's really fully flowing in feminism. And like I said, these women will discard you like you're nothing, but they'll also try and get you back if they feel like there's something they need or want. And sometimes it's just to see if they can get you back, and then they'll discard you again. So you have to understand, with these women, there is no real love. There is no real connection. It's their mental illness being used, or you're being used to and abused to fulfill their mental illness or whatever sick, twisted things that are going on in their mind or their life. They'll never truly put you first, and it always comes back to them. These type of women with all these red flags fundamentally are self-centered to the core. They don't care about you or anybody else. Very little people, especially not a partner.
It could be emotional manipulation and an avoidant attachment style or other serious mental health issues. Now, I'm not saying that people with these problems don't deserve love, but just know that it will be very challenging to maintain a healthy relationship. Odds are you will likely end up feeling emotionally drained as you find yourself constantly trying to navigate her mixed signals. So if she's not willing to address these issues in therapy, you might want to think twice about investing further.
And yet, in my opinion, these tactics are all designed to sort of break a man down. So all women have got their different strategies, but all of these are not traits that uplift a man and make a man thrive. These are all traits that destroy men, tear men down, and just ruin their life. So like I said, if you see any of these traits in women, tread very carefully. And this is why you need to observe the true nature of the woman. And when you see the mask slip, don't just say, oh, she was just having a bad day, because what happens is you'll see it more and more and you'll get used to it and keep making excuses. In my opinion, in these times, men have to be savage. With me, when I was younger, a woman could have red flags all over the place. As long as I got her in bed, I was happy. But fast forward to right now, if I even get a glimpse, I'm talking a glimpse of something I don't like in a woman, gone. Cut off. I will just absolutely leave it. Obviously, I'm talking about in the beginning process, you know. So like, if you're starting to get to speak to a woman, I can fundamentally speak to a woman and within, less than a day, depends how long I've been speaking, but very quickly I can pick up, is this woman good or bad? And 9 times out of 10 or 9.9 times out of 10, they'll always do something where I'm like, that's it, I'm good. So, like I said, you might be single for a while, but I'd rather be single and sane than, in a relationship and mentally destroyed. That's the reality. So you have to be very careful and be very wise to all of the tricks and all of the tactics and fundamentally the manipulation and the gaslighting, because that's women's forte. That is their speciality, because it's all about emotions, and women know they can't physically overpower men. So they do it through emotions and they break men down through emotions and all these different tactics. There's many more than this, but these are just ones that I thought were good to highlight. So as a man, it's your duty to have respect for yourself, set boundaries, set standards, and accept nothing less. And be very wise and very aware of women, and you need to train yourself or educate yourself in a way. It does come with experience, but if you can get on it right now and start to educate yourself on women and understanding them, it's a very vital part of being a man, because, if you've built a life where it's worth a lot of value and you put a lot of time in it, the last thing you want is a woman to come along and destroy it and rinse you and take everything. And even if you've not, the last thing you want is to get a woman in your life that's going to mentally destroy you. So it's like the most important thing, in your life, is to focus on yourself, focus on building yourself, making yourself thrive as a man, in many ways. Anything that's positive, anything that benefits you, do it. But you must educate yourself on women and navigate them very wisely, because if you choose the wrong one, it could absolutely devastate your life, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever, financially, and all of the above and more. So it is crucial you understand these women and you filter them out.
Into the relationship. So there you have it. 10 types of women that could rob you of your sanity if you're not careful. If you need help breaking toxic relationship patterns or getting out of a toxic relationship.
Yeah, so that basically sums it up, and it's a good video by Lisa LeBlanc. To make it easy, don't listen to what women say, judge them by what they do. Yeah, so don't fall into, oh, I'm just a little sweet woman, even though I just punched you in the face. I'm just little, you know, they'll do things and then try and justify it. You have to go by how they act, not by what they say, because most of the time women will lie and manipulate their way out of things, because accountability is the very, 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 very last thing a woman will ever go to. Ever. Even if you push them to the ends of the earth to do it, most of them will never take accountability. So you have to understand that women operate on manipulation. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. And that's the reality. Don't make excuses and exceptions. One of the biggest red flags is a woman who's constantly negative or critical. Yeah, it drains your energy and impacts your confidence. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and support your growth. Yeah, that's it. Not those who bring constant drama. And that's what I'm saying. These traits are, in my opinion, narcissistic, evil, like demonic type women who want to break men down, because all of these traits are no good. They never make anybody thrive. These are women that you need to avoid, fundamentally need to. It's her birthday today and I'm fighting myself to not call. It feels inhuman to share so much with someone then be forced to share nothing. What a sad state of affairs. With my 74 years of living behind me, I think I can honestly say you hit every woman in the world in one way or another. Yeah. So, people are agreeing. And like I said, people, educate yourself and put yourself first and don't fall for the manipulation of women. You know, you have to be very wise and very aware with women. And you might be single for a long time, but like I said, I'd rather be sane and single than in a relationship and mentally destroyed and broken. It's a long road back from that, and sometimes there is no road back from it. So, until the next time, peace.